let's have a conversation. All right, let's have a conversation, Chargers fans, about your quarterback, your man under center, but more than that, this offense and how it's going to run. Because when we look at the surrounding cast, I think a lot of it, we have to ask the question, is it enough? And it takes a wonderful gunslinger, great quarterback in order to make it work. So when you look at Herbert, what's your biggest criticism of him? I'm just asking the question. Feel free to put it down in the comments, and I can tell you what some of them are, right? Not good in crunch time, not a good leader, right? Like these are the things that we're hearing, and your left tackle put to rest one of them. That's absolutely ridiculous. I've come on here and I've already talked about his stats and how he's actually one of the better quarterbacks in pressure situations. So this whole he doesn't have a clutch gene thing, it's just not real. He's not winning playoff games because he had a crap coach. He's not winning playoff games because he didn't have either the talent or the coaching around him in order to win those playoff games. He was able to get you to them. The fact that he got you there is what's amazing. The colossal collapses, different things like that. There's 22 players that start and play on a football. 11 football players play on a field at a time. You can't put everything on the quarterback. Even in that collapse to the Jags, don't get me wrong, he made his fair share of mistakes, but they should have scored more than enough points to win that game. More than enough points. So what does he look like as a leader? All right, Slater was on a show, Up and Adams, with Amy Adams. And he said, it's funny. Everyone who calls Justin a quiet leader isn't actually on the team. So they have no idea what his leadership is like. Everybody talks about how he's this quiet leader. They don't know what that looks like. By the way, even if he was, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing to be a quiet leader? I don't think it is. Now, sometimes do you need a little rah-rah from your team leader? Sometimes do you need him to get fired up? Do you need him to get pumped up? Do you need him to put people in his place? Yeah, of course you do. All right, but a quiet leader is not a bad thing. If you know us in this channel, we followed this man over here to L.A. to cover the Chargers and San Diego. Don't forget San Diego. We're not forgetting about you. All right? Always San Diego. All right? But we were Lions fans because we live in Michigan. We're big Michigan fans, but we've always been watching from afar the Chargers organization because there's a lot of similarities, unfortunately, between the Lions and the Chargers and their organizations over the years. So I know in Detroit, Jared Goff is a quiet leader. They seemed to do just fine last year under his quiet leadership skills. But that's not what Herbert is. Slater says this. He gets riled up. He talks crap. All right. He's vocal. He's all those things. He's a great leader. He said people see more than they hear. Just the way he conducts his business, the way he goes about it, he's always been a great leader. So there you have it. The man that is designed, his job is to protect Herbert. He is Herbert's Secret Service, if you will. All right, not so Secret Service. All right, he is one of the big men up front. His job is to protect Justin Herbert. And he is saying, Herbert is a great leader. That's my quarterback, and I'm good with him. Not to confuse anyone with T.O. It's my quarterback. Right? Like, all right, buddy, what are we going to do? So when you take that into an account, you still have to look at the numbers. And with primarily a defensive coach over the last 3 years, when you take the stats over the past 4 years, Justin Herbert, by almost every metric, is a top 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 quarterback, maybe top 10. He's very good. Take a look at some of these things. When you look at passing yards, the only quarterbacks who are ahead of him are Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Now, I know passing yards isn't always a fair stat to determine how good a quarterback is. But when you look at the top 10 here, all right, especially top 9, even if you bring it out to 11, right, really the only player that's on here that's like, oh, no, yeah, he's not a great quarterback is Derek Carr. That's it. All right, by the way, another small stat, he stays healthy. Even with missing games last year, he has the 5th most games played of any quarterback. I think that's a really, really big deal. All right. Attempts, he's second but Mahomes is first, Allen is third. Like, it just makes sense that they're all in a very close spot. When you talk about percentage, he's 12th. When you look at average yards per game, he's still third. When you look at touchdowns, he's fourth. He throws touchdowns. That's a big deal. All right, everybody knocks him for throwing interceptions. I get that. But when you throw the ball and you have the second most pass attempts, you're going to have interceptions. So he's fifth on that list. But the two players who have more passing yards than him are Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. They've thrown more picks. They've thrown more. So don't get me started on this stuff. I can't handle it. All right? He's 13th when it comes to passer rating. Look, the guy has all the stats in the world to back it up. When you have teammates come out and say he's a great leader, when you see proof that he is a clutch player and has a clutch gene when it comes to games, late in games, he executes drives that are in clutch situations as well as anybody. I showed a graph on a video. I probably did it 2-3 weeks ago. Like, he's there. All he needs is the right coaching staff. And I think he has that now. Now, do I expect him to throw for 4,500 yards this year like he usually does? Nah, probably not. But that doesn't mean he won't throw for 4,500 yards again in this offense. He absolutely will throw for 4,500 yards again in this offense. Don't act just because Harbaugh likes to run the ball that they don't throw the ball. He knows strengths. He plays to strengths. That's what he does. He was able to get Andrew Luck at Stanford very pro ready. All right. And made him a very good player coming into the NFL. Trust me, Andrew Luck was very talented on his own, but he went to Stanford. All right. Everywhere Harbaugh's been, he hasn't had quarterbacks that it's like, yep, you want him to drop back and throw the ball 40 times, 45 times. He's never had that. He's never had a quarterback who's earned that from him. Certainly not Colin Kaepernick. All right. When he was at Michigan, he had a lot of quarterbacks, none that deserved 45. No, not J.J. McCarthy. No. All right. He made too many mistakes. That is not a 15-0 national championship team if McCarthy's throwing the ball 40 times a game. He hasn't had it. All right. So when you look at this with Herbert, he will have it. And we see the leadership stuff. So I'm just telling you, I think this could be a match made in heaven. I think Herbert is a fantastic quarterback. I'm really excited to see what he does this year and going beyond. And I can't wait to see what he does, quite frankly, with a less talented wide receiver room. I'm just trying to decide if that wide receiver room that he had was great or if he made them even better. I think it's a little bit of both, and I think we'll find out with this young wide receiving core that he has now. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.